You're tuned into the Burrage Sports Show.
What's up, everybody? We back. Another episode of the Burrage Sports Show. The NBA is on and popping. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Burrage, the dad, and I'm here with my co-host,
Mike Burr.
Mike Burr always delivers. That's my son, by the way, if you didn't know that. We're talking all NBA, man. The NBA has been so exciting. The bubble has been rocking. Mike Burr, start us off, man. Just talk to me about what you think about the bubble so far.
Yeah, the bubble is lit. The bubble basketball, this is probably the best basketball I've seen in a long time. I think just the players being locked in and focused, all they have to do is basketball. It's just practice, hanging out with your teammates, and playing basketball. And every game pretty much has been competitive. It's been a lot of surprise teams, a lot of surprise players. It's been some of the best basketball I've seen in a while in NBA.
Yeah, I agree, man. They've come back and they're really playing exciting ball. You know, I didn't know what it was going to be like because you don't have the fans. We dealing with COVID. Guys had a layoff. So I thought they were going to be really rusty. Maybe it could have been a little, maybe the first 2-3 games be a little whack. But, man, right out the gate, the games have been exciting. Yeah. Games have been close. Games have been going to the wire. I mean, it's been some really good basketball, and it's been fun to watch. Yeah. That's what I like about it. I didn't know how it was going to, in terms of viewership without the fans and the atmosphere, what it was going to be like in terms of watching it on television. It's been good to watch too, man.
Yeah, I think like just the focus, like that's the players, you could tell they miss playing the game. This is probably, these are NBA stars. These are the longest they probably went without playing,
Yes, good point.
Besides the off season, and especially in the middle of the season, you could tell they're really excited to play, and they're really focused. They're locked in. They don't have to. There's nobody going out to the club. You don't have to do a endorsement meeting or nothing like that.
That's true.
It's just all basketball, and they're hooping, man. They've been hooping.
And let's get into some of the records. Mm-hmm. I got some of the stats here. I want to talk about the Eastern Conference. Okay. We always do the Western Conference first. This time we're going to do the Eastern Conference first. I'm kind of going to go down the way people have been producing, and then we'll just kind of talk about that because some teams have lived up to expectations.
Yep.
Some teams are right in the middle, and some teams have grossly underachieved.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
And I'll start with the team. Usually you start with the best. I'm going to start with a team that they probably shouldn't even been there. The Washington Wizards.
Yeah, they're out of there.
They got invited. They're 0-6. Yeah. They've just been a doormat. Everybody they've played have beat them. They don't even look like they want to be out there. The Wizards are just a total franchise in disarray right now.
Yeah. It's really not much to say. They probably shouldn't have been there. They had a slim chance of making it in the first place, and it's not looking too pretty.
Not looking too pretty, man.
Yeah.
But at the top of the board is the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, sir.
And the Milwaukee Bucks, they had the best record in the NBA during the regular season, but they're 2-3 in the bubble. Mm-hmm. They've dropped some games in the bubble. So tell me what you think about the Bucks, because in the regular season, they were dominant. They looked pretty much unbeatable. I don't even think they maybe only lost back-to-back games maybe once, maybe twice during the regular season. But now they're 2-3 in the bubble.
Yes, they've had some ups and downs, and the big question with the Bucks, and we talked about this multiple times on this podcast, is who's the second option, who's the third option? Because Giannis is Giannis, right? Right now in the bubble, he's putting up 31 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists. So Giannis is doing his part. And then, but if you look at the rest of their roster, Chris Middleton is giving you 21, 6, and 6, shooting 50%, 42 from 3. And you got Brook Lopez, he's dropping 22 and 7. So they're getting production, but they're like you said, they're 2-3. And a question I have is, we know Chris Middleton's a baller. He's been an all-star before. He's a very talented player. He puts up stats. But he reminds me of another player. I wonder, is Chris Middleton Kevin Love? Is he a guy that fills up the stat sheet.
That's a deep analogy.
Is he a guy that fills up the stat sheet, but it's not necessarily winning basketball, right? Because I remember when Kevin Love was on the Cavs, right? They would, when they would play a game, you'd be like, man, LeBron didn't have any help. And then you would look at the box score, and you'd be like, wait, Kevin Love had 20 and 15? It's like it's like surprise stats. Like when did he do that?
Yeah.
I'm wondering because Chris Middleton can hoop, but if it's not resulting in wins, and we'll see how it goes in the playoffs.
Okay.
Is he like a Kevin Love, like a guy that's very talented but maybe not a winner?
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a good analogy because Giannis is going to need that other guy. It's the NBA.
Yeah.
Jordan needed another guy. Magic needed another guy. Bron needed another guy. Kobe needed another guy.
Yep.
Steph Curry needed another guy. So in the NBA, nobody can do it alone. You just can't do it alone. The closest I've seen to somebody doing it without a big time name, a second guy, was Allen Iverson. One year he took Philly to the finals, and it was like Allen Iverson and everybody else.
Yeah.
And that was the closest I've seen, even though they didn't win it. So I don't know, man. I kind of agree with you. Middleton is going to have to step up, and he's going to have to be exceptional. Because like you say, if Giannis doesn't have a great game, they lose. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Now, on the other end of the spectrum, the second seed in the East, the Toronto Raptors.
Looking good.
They 5-1.
Looking good.
They've been beating everybody. And they're the best defensive team in the league. They're in the top 5 defensive categories in 3-point field goal percentage, other defensive statistics, defensive rebounding, and all different categories. They're by far the best defensive team in the league, but their offense have been impressive. They play together. Pascal Siakam is a bona fide star now.
Yeah.
Fred VanVleet, I think he's a little underrated because he can ball. Lowry is showing such leadership. Marc Gasol is still playing good ball. Ibaka still playing good ball. The young kid OG is a rising star.
Yep.
He's not consistent yet, but he can get after you. Norman Powell has a resurgence. I mean, they got a lot of other role players.
Yeah.
The Toronto Raptors, in my opinion, has been the most impressive team in the bubble so far.
Yes, it's hard to argue with that one. They certainly came out. They only dropped one game, and they kind of remind me of the Spurs, right? They have a bunch of talent. They play together, play team basketball, play defense. And what I like about them, they ride the high hand. So if it's Siakam's night, they're going to give it to Siakam. If it's Laurie's night, they're going to give it to Laurie. If it's OG night, whoever has the high hand, they're going to feed them. And everybody is selfless enough to just fill in. And that's dangerous because it's not like with the Bucks. Okay, if we can slow down Giannis, we have a good chance of winning. It's like, okay, maybe you slow down Siakam and then Laurie drops 30 on you. It's true. They and like you said, they're probably the best defensive team in the league. So the Raptors have been super impressive, and I really think, even though they're the defending champs, they're not getting enough respect. People are talking about the Lakers, talking about the Clippers, talking about the Bucks. The Raptors are just as good as those teams, and I know they feel they can beat any of those teams.
I think it's because of the Kawhi factor.
Yeah.
Kawhi was so magical that one year he was with them. It was like what could go right did go right whenever Kawhi was on the floor. And then, the miracle shot against Philly and his defense, big steals. He was everything you wanted to bring in a franchise player for one season. He gave you everything you wanted and then some.
Yeah.
So I think without him, people just don't believe. But they were 17-5 without Kawhi Leonard last year because he took a lot of days off, for maintenance and just making sure he could stay healthy for the playoffs. And they were still one of the best teams in the NBA. And now I think Pascal Siakam just kind of filled in that role that Kawhi Leonard had as the all-star go-to guy, the nightmare matchup, and they're just keeping it rolling. So, hey, Toronto, man, again, I think they've been the best team in the bubble. Their record obviously shows it. Well, no, I take that back. The second best team in the bubble. We'll talk about the best team in the bubble in a minute in the Western Conference. But the Raptors look good, and they look poised to get back to the NBA championship.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. I think them and the Bucks, it's not just the Bucks. The Raptors have a good shot of making it too.
That's right. Now, Boston Celtics, they're 4-2. So they've been playing good ball, and we've seen the emergence of a 1-2 punch. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have been impressive.
Hoopers.
They have been impressive. They play well together. They feed off each other, and they kind of take turns on you, and they've been really good defensively.
Yeah, excellent on defense.
And we know they're great athletes. Their athleticism is off the chart, especially Jaylen Brown. I like what the Celtics have done. 4-2, playing some real good ball. Talk to me. How do you feel about the Celtics?
I mean, they got a talented roster. When you look at them, Cantor, you mentioned Jason Brown, Jason Tatum. They got Gordon Hayward, of course, Kemba Walker. Then you got Marcus Smart and a bunch of great scrappy role players. They have everything you need. It's always with them. It's kind of been chemistry, especially last year. And then Kemba was injured earlier on the bubble, but he's just starting to come back. So, and we know what Kemba can do, especially in the clutch. So their team, I wouldn't be surprised if they send somebody you don't expect home, because they got all the talent.
Oh, yeah.
They got all the talent to do it. It's just, can they put it together? And do they have, we know they got two young stars, but are they ready to defeat, one of those top teams in the East and get to the finals? And but the talent is there, and they have been really impressive. They picked up some nice wins.
Yeah, they have. And they two losses. They lost to the Miami Heat. They lost to the Bucks. So they lost to two really good teams. Like, if you're not a top team, you're not going to beat them. So the Bucks, we know, are a top tier team. Obviously, the best team in the East right now, record wise. And then the Miami Heat, they're right. They're neck and neck. And that's what I want to talk about next. Then the Miami Heat. Yeah, the Miami Heat. I got to give them a bit of a pass because Jimmy Butler has missed 3 games, 3 of their 5 games, but they're 2-3. So they're kind of holding on. They're playing kind of in the middle. They got a lot of talent, but without Jimmy B, they're a different team.
Yeah. And with Jimmy B coming back, it's gonna be huge. I just want to name their roster. They got a lot of talented, a lot of scrappy players. You got Jimmy B, you got Dragic, Bam, you got Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, Crowder, Iguodala, Derrick Jones, Kendrick Nunn, Olynyk. Like, they got a squad.
They got a squad.
Plus a great championship winning coach.
Great coach.
Pat Riley won multiple championships as a coach and a GM. So they got everything too. And I like them because they're tough, they're scrappy, and they're the best 3-point shooting team in the league by percentage.
Yeah.
They got snipers. I mean, Tyler Hero is a knockdown 3-point shooter.
Yeah, man.
He's gonna be a really good player.
I think so too.
And with Jimmy B coming back from the injury, getting his legs under him, they're gonna be a real threat in the East.
Yeah, I agree. And they play differently when Jimmy's out there because Jimmy is a dog. Yeah, Jimmy, he like cocky, borderline, like arrogant. Like, Jimmy believes he's the best player in the NBA. Like, if you ask Jimmy who's the best player in the NBA, Jimmy would probably be like, oh, well, he's great. But I think the best player is Jimmy, which is nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Jimmy is a confident guy, and they're a different team when Jimmy Butler's out there. Yeah. When Jimmy Butler's out there with that squad, they actually believe they could beat anybody.
Yeah, and I like Jimmy. Like you said, Jimmy is good because he raises the level of play of everybody, right? He's gonna hold you accountable. He's gonna make sure you playing defense, and he's not afraid to call his guys out. And because of that, but at the same time, he can take criticism. So because of that, everybody plays harder when Jimmy is there. And like I said, they got enough horses to definitely send somebody packing.
I agree. Yeah. Now, one of the funnest teams I'm talking coming up next. We just talked about the Heat, the Indiana Pacers.
Yes, my dark horse.
Warren, your dark horse. T.J. Warren is putting on a show.
Bubble Jordan.
I like that. T.J. Warren has been the Bubble Jordan. TJ Warren is having some fun. He dropped 53 one night. Mike, talk to me about your bubble team because they clowning.
Yeah. And then he just dropped 39 on the Lakers the other night. He got the W. Yeah, TJ Warren he looking different. He looking like he could be a real all-star superstar in this league. Let me show you his stats. He's been putting up 35 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. He's
wow.
a leading scorer in the bubble. Dropped 39 on the Lakers, 51 in the first game. And then on the team, you still got Oladipo. You still got Brogdon. Unfortunately, Sabonis is hurt. He may be back by the playoffs, but he's probably going to miss it. But just imagine if they had Sabonis, too.
That'd be crazy.
Indiana's going to be a team that's going to be very good for a while. They got a nice young core. And I think if TJ Warren keep playing like this, they might just go on the ride. You know, like we saw the magical journey the Raptors had last year.
Yeah.
The Pacers, my dark horse, is looking like a good pick.
And I like the way TJ Warren is doing it. If you saw that Laker game down the stretch, everybody in the gym knew that TJ Warren was getting the basketball.
They couldn't do nothing about it.
And they couldn't do nothing about it. He was dropping them off like the CTA, man. I'm talking about he get on the bus, stop, get on the bus, get off at your stop and go home. I mean, TJ Warren has been fantastic. The Pacers have been fantastic. And so, and they've been so fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
Because they getting buckets, man.
And Oladipo is slowly getting back because he had that major injury. And if you got a back-to-back between TJ Warren and Oladipo, that's
going to be nice.
Nobody wants to deal with that.
That's going to be nice.
And they play good team basketball, good defense. Man, it's like I said, a lot of teams, you know, coming into the bubble, I was like, okay, you got the Lakers, you got the Clippers, you got the Bucks. But then these games showed you it's not just the top 3.
It's not just the top 3.
I think the championship is wide open.
I do too, man. Yeah. And I think teams have hope now. I think it's a lot of teams believe, like, we can do this.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, the last few years, you knew Golden State was going to the finals.
Yeah.
And you kind of knew that whatever team LeBron was on was going to the finals in the East. It doesn't have that feeling now.
It does
I think it's about 5 teams in the West like, we could do this. And I think it's about 5 or 6 teams in the East like, we can do this. Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting because everybody feels they can, you know, win the chip.
Yeah, it's been great competition. But speaking of the top dogs, the Lakers. Yeah. I know a lot of people have been saying they've been kind of falling off a little bit. They did clinch the West, but they're only 2-4 in the bubble. But LeBron is only averaging 20 points. Let's be serious. AD is only averaging 20 points. I think what they did was pretty smart. I think they kind of took a step back and they wanted to see, because the big question for Lakers, who's the third option? Who are the role players? And what they've been kind of doing, they've been letting Kuz kind of take the forefront. They've been letting Dion Waiters. They've been seeing who are those guys that are gonna ride with them. And I think Kuz has really stepped up, especially on defense. We always knew he could score.
Yeah,
he's been playing really good defense.
He has actually.
I saw against Kawhi, he solid D. Against James Harden, he was playing pretty good. So, and then Dion Waiters has been coming in. Kuz has been averaging 14. Dion Waiters has been averaging another 10. So that's 24 points. Mm-hmm. If they can keep that up, come on, be serious. You know LeBron's not gonna average 20 points in the playoffs.
Right.
So
true.
I think the Lakers did. LeBron kind of was taking games off. He didn't want to exert too much energy in the games because they already were number 1 in the West. I think they're gonna be ready for playoff time when Bron turns the switch.
I think so too. But we're gonna come back to them. We're gonna get the West. I know. See, my son is a Laker fan. Everybody, so he gonna get to LA. We're gonna talk about LA. And I agree with everything you're saying about the Lakers. But we're going to finish out in the East right now. Because I want to talk to you about Philly.
Ooh.
Ben Simmons out.
And then Embiid just got a ankle too. So.
Just got an ankle. 3-2 in the bubble. So they haven't been bad. Mm-hmm. But once again, Philly just can't. I don't know what it is. They just can't. Just when you think they are turning the corner, something weird happens or somebody gets hurt. Embiid has a 103-degree fever. They just can't find that groove to be the team that we thought they would be when you put Simmons and Embiid together.
Yeah.
We thought they could be like a modern day version of Kobe and Shaq and maybe bring a couple of chips to Philly. But right now, once again,
it's not looking like that.
Bad luck. Just bad luck.
I don't know if it's the Kardashian curse or something. They need to burn some sage and pray or something, because every time it's playoff time, everything just goes wrong. Like, but and when you look at the roster, they got the talent. Like, it's no question they're just as talented as any of the other teams.
When your front court is Horford, Embiid, and then you have Simmons. I mean, 3 big guys.
And Tobias Harris.
And you got Tobias Harris. And you got Richardson from Miami. When you got that level of a starting 5, you just need a decent bench.
They got some decent players coming off.
Yeah, you should be a contender. Like, people should be afraid, but it's just something about it. And again, they haven't been bad. 3-2. But now with Simmons gone, with Embiid banged up, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, they've been a big disappointment for the last couple of years. It's just like bad timing, some bad luck. I don't know what it is. Maybe they need coaching change. I know they're talking about trading either Embiid or Simmons, and you could honestly get a lot of value for either one of them, and then build around one of those players. So they got to figure something out.
They got to figure something out. Now, rounding out the rest of the East is the Brooklyn Nets, who have been great. We thought the Nets were just gonna lay down because you don't have KD, you don't have Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
And we thought the Nets were just gonna lay down. The Nets are 4-2.
Yeah.
Karis LeVert has been crazy. He's been basically running the point, and he's just been going to work on people.
Yeah.
They have been a really good team.
And Joe Harris been hooping too.
Joe Harris is does he miss a 3-pointer?
I don't think so. I haven't seen him miss one.
Because he won the 3-point shooting contest.
Yep.
Nobody knew who he was. He definitely wasn't picked as a favorite. He just lit it up. And really, since that 3-point contest, coming into that and since that, he hasn't slowed down a bit. But he'll get you off the bounce too. Yeah, that's what I like about him.
He'll surprise you. Like, you think he's just a shooter.
Right.
You look at him, just a white boy that can shoot. But he'll take you to.
Man, he'll take you to the dish, drop you off once again, like CTA. For those who don't know, we're from Chicago. That's the Chicago Transit Authority. That's the bus. That's the bus. And man, Joe Harris and Karis LeVert have been great. And Orlando Magic, they've been what we've thought. They're 2-6.
Yeah.
So they got a few wins, but more losses than wins. They're not. They're in the playoffs though. Their spot is secure because the team chasing them for the 8th seed is the Washington Wizards, who haven't won a game. So the Orlando Magic will make the playoffs. They got Aaron Gordon. They got some guys down there.
Vujovic was
They got Vujovic.
So they got young talent. They probably need to shake some things up, maybe get a new coach. But they got talent there.
Yeah, and they haven't been super impressive, and they haven't been awful. They just been Orlando. They've been playing like the 8th seed. And so that's what's been going on in the East, man. We walked that East. Now we're going to talk about the West. And guys, this is an extended show. We usually do about 30 minutes. We're going to do a little longer today because the NBA is back. They're balling, and we got to talk about this bubble. Now, let's talk about your Lakers now.
Okay.
You already gave us a little update, but just what's going on with LA? The Lakers, like you say, they've been 2-4, and they've gotten blown out a few games.
Yeah.
Should we be afraid? Like what is this a sign of things to come?
LeBron never fails.
As long as LeBron James has a pulse.
There you go.
It's nothing to be worried about. Like I said, Bron is only averaging 20 points. Let's be serious. If you think LeBron James is going to average 20 points in the playoffs, you don't know anything about basketball. Anthony Davis is only averaging 20. I think they really did a smart thing. Even LeBron, I know he set out a game or two too. So they've been kind of letting the role players step in. They've been letting J.R. Smith get some burn. Deion Waiters, some of these new players, figuring out, okay, who's going to be that third option? Who can we rely on? Because LeBron going to hoop. AD going to hoop. So is it Kuz? Is it Waiters? And I think those are the two guys. KCP's been playing good ball.
I like KCP.
Caruso's been hooping. They got a rookie, Horton Tucker. He came in.
Yeah, where did he come from?
He was actually, if you watch the Summer League, He was balling.
Oh, really?
He had some nice games in the summer league. Then he got hurt.
Okay.
And then he was out pretty much most of the year.
He need a few more minutes because he come in with a lot of energy and he ready to play, man.
Yeah, he could hoop.
Yeah.
So that's why I think what the Lakers did was smart. You already number one in the West. They clinched the West in like the second or third game. So they were like, let's get the role players going. Because LeBron is like, I could turn it on any moment. AD is like, I could turn it on any moment. So if you think they're gonna combine for 40 points in the playoffs, that's easily gonna go up to 60, maybe even 80. So be ready.
We'll see. Now let's talk about the other team in LA. My team in LA, the Clippers. They've been 3-3. So they have been bad, but they haven't really been all that good. Some games they look unbeatable. Some games they look a little lethargic, like they're just kind of going through the motions, waiting for the bubble to be over with. They only have 2 more games left. You only play 8 in the bubble. They're 3-3 so far. And I think that's how they're probably going to end it. They're probably going to be 4-4. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to be ready for the playoffs because you have vets. But their bubble experience, I think, have just been middle of the road. I don't think Doc Rivers is giving them a lot of praise, but I don't think he's criticizing them too bad because they built that team for the playoffs.
Yeah.
They built that team to make a run for a championship. So I don't think what they're doing in the bubble is indicative of what they're going to be as a team. They have too much talent. Montrezl Harrell just announced he's back.
Yeah, that's scary.
That's a big difference maker. So I think the Clippers are going to be okay. They're just going through the motion. They'll probably come out even in the bubble. Maybe hold on to the number 2 seed, even though Denver's right at their heels. And then they're ready to try to run for the playoff, for the championship.
Yeah, I think it's the same as the Lakers. Like they got a different focus. They're not trying to prove anything. They're looking at that championship. And like you said, they got Lou Will in the middle of the bubble. Harold just came back. So now they got the full team. Can they stay healthy in the playoffs? That's gonna be a big question. I think Patrick Beverly had a little injury. I don't know if he's back yet. But that's the thing. Can they stay healthy? But because if they're healthy, they obviously got the talent to beat anybody in the tournament.
True.
So I think they got a different focus, and they're gonna be there. It's gonna be tough. But another team I want to talk about, who they'll probably play in the first round, Luka and the Mavs.
Yes, man.
If you've been watching, Luka is showing you he different.
He's different, man.
Yeah,
I haven't seen a young player as good as Luka Doncic in his first 2 seasons since LeBron James. You know, when LeBron came in the league as a rookie and then in his second year, he was playing like he had been there all along. I haven't seen that quick of a maturation process since LeBron. Luka has been fantastic. Triple doubles and high triple doubles. I'm talking about like 30, 15, and then one game he had 19 assists. Luka is showing he is bona fide. Yeah. He is a bona fide superstar. They've been okay in the bubble. They've been 3-3, which, you know, their record, they're 43-30 for the entire season. But he can send somebody home, and this is going to be the test. You know, you go from a superstar to an icon to a legendary player in the playoffs.
Yep.
So Luka is showing regular season, I'm as good as the hype. I'm the best young talent in the NBA, which he is. You know, Ja Morant is putting in work. Zion, we know who he is, but the best young talent in the NBA right now is Luka Doncic. And now we're going to see what playoff Luka Doncic is like. Mm-hmm. But he has been so impressive. In my opinion, I think he's been the MVP, maybe along with TJ Warren and James Harden of the bubble so far.
Yeah, definitely. Those players have been showing out in the bubble. If you look at Luka's averages in the bubble, 33, 12, and 12.
That's MVP numbers.
And then you got Porzingis giving you 29 and 10.
He's healthy now.
Yeah, when Porzingis is healthy, he's easily one of the best big men in the league.
Yeah, he's 7'2", 7'3", and can do it all.
Shoot, take you inside, outside. You've got little handles, even can pass. And so they got 2 legitimate star players.
Yeah.
And they got a host of really good role players.
The third guy is Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yep.
And he's maturing now. He's kind of rounding out.
Yeah, Tim Hardaway looking like his dad. Then you got Finney Smith, you got Trey Burke, Seth Curry, Boban, and they got some other players that fill in too. And like I said, Dallas, they're a young team. They're still figuring out like how to win, how to close games, and they're gonna be around for a while. Yeah, they're a young team, but I wouldn't be surprised. They're gonna have a tough matchup because they're probably gonna play the Clippers or the Lakers if they fall to 8th. So it's gonna be tough for them in that first round, but
they won't fall to 8. They have too big of a lead. They have like a 10-game lead over the 8th seed, so they're locked in.
Okay,
they're gonna be 5, 6, or 7 for sure.
Okay, so maybe if they can get out that 7th spot, because that's the Clippers, if they can go up, maybe they can make a run. Because I don't know if they can beat the Clippers round 1, but Luka is showing you he's be
real, man.
Yeah. He looking top 5 already.
Luka's real. At the 3rd spot, the Denver Nuggets, they've been pretty good. They've been 3-2. You got Jokic, but now Jamal Murray is back. They didn't have Murray their first 3 or 4 games. Murray is back. I like Denver, but they're my team. They're like my dark horse. I think they can do it, but I don't know if they will do it.
Yeah.
But they have a little more playoff experience from the last couple of seasons. I think they're a very well coached team. They play well together. They like playing with each other. So Denver has been pretty good, 3-2, and they're holding on to that 3 spot. They might even get that 2 spot from the Clippers, even though you don't get home court advantage and all those things anymore. But I like the Denver Nuggets, but I'm waiting to see who they really are. And can they send somebody home in the playoffs? In like the Eastern Conference, in the Western Conference Finals. Can they do it?
Yeah, that's a big question. Like, I like them. I think they're a little bit better than all the other teams in the West except LA, the 2 LA teams. And can they beat them in a 7-game series? That's a big question mark. They can definitely take a couple games off of them.
Yeah.
And they're probably a team, because Denver is one of the hardest places to play at. So they're probably a team that's going to suffer more from not having home court.
Yeah, they don't have that altitude, baby.
Yeah,
they don't have that mile-high altitude.
That's definitely a huge factor, and one of the best teams at home every year. And like you said, Jamal Murray is just getting back. Michael Porter Jr. has been hooping.
Whoa.
Jokic has been hooping.
Yeah.
And they got a bunch of great role players. They play good team basketball. Mm-hmm. As Murray gets healthy, they got a legit young big 3. Are they there yet? I don't know if they can get over that hump, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now your dark horse in the West have been really impressive. The Houston Rockets have been giving people the blues.
That actually wasn't my dark horse, but I'll take it.
that wasn't your dark horse?
Nah. I picked.
Oh, New Orleans. Oh.
Yeah, I picked the Pelicans. I didn't know Zion was on a minutes restriction. That kind of blew it.
Yeah.
No one knew.
And they're just not ready yet. I think they got to make some moves, get some more experience, build around Zion, because if Zion gets his weight under control, gets healthy, they're gonna have something. Just give it a couple years.
Yeah, a couple of years.
Early.
But in terms, the bubble exposed them. Pelicans, they're done. Put a fork in them, they're done.
Yeah.
San Antonio, they've been pretty good in the bubble. San Antonio's actually been 4-2, and that's just from effort. And they got veteran guys, good coaching. So the Pelicans, technically, they're not out of getting that 8 seed, but they're not going to make it. The Spurs,
no, I think they officially got eliminated.
Oh, they officially got eliminated. Okay, good.
Yeah, they're out of there.
That's what I thought. They don't deserve to be there anyway. Spurs, I think, are hanging on by a thread. They're only a couple of games back. The Phoenix Suns, they've been the best team in the
Undefeated.
bubble. They're 6-0.
Let's go.
Devin Booker.
Is
Wait a minute. I forgot. We talked about MVPs in the bubble. I'm sorry. Forgive me, Devin. I didn't say your name. You're a bubble MVP as well. He's been a great leader. He's been on fire. Big Aiton has been playing good ball. 6-0 in the bubble. The Phoenix Suns are now maturing.
Yeah.
They've always had a lot of young talent, and they had all the stuff. Just give them a little more time, and all of the things you say. Yeah, once they learn how to play. Well, I don't know what happened from the break until now. They look like they understand it now.
Yeah.
And they get after it. And they've won some impressive games. Devin Booker's hitting games winners. He's looking like the bona fide superstar he is. And I like the Phoenix Suns. I think if they might catch the Memphis Grizzlies or the Portland Trail Blazers for that 8th seed.
They're certainly doing everything they can.
Everything they can, undefeated. 6-0.
They're a couple games out. It's going to be tough. Memphis has to drop some games, and Portland has to drop some games. But they're doing everything they can. They're going out there, they're winning. They beat the Clippers. They beat some good teams. They're not just beating up on the lower teams. They beat some of the top teams. True. Devin Booker hit a game winner over Paul George. It was nasty. He's different. He's just different.
He is.
And Aiden, too. Aiden is a big fella that can bang down low, but he can also shoot, take you mid-range. He's quick. He's light on his feet. So they got a really good young core. And even if they don't get in the playoffs this year, people going to have to see them in the next couple of years.
I agree. And as long as you have Devin Booker, you have a chance because you have a franchise guy. You have a guy you can literally build a championship team around. And I want to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies. They're still statistically holding on to that 8th spot in the West. Yeah. But they've only won one game. They're 5-1. Yeah. They've been going backwards. Talk to me about Memphis. What's going on with the Memphis Grizzlies?
Yeah, since they lost Jaren Jackson, it's been really downhill. I hope he gets better. And then they're a young team. I think they certainly play well this season. Ja Morant's probably gonna be Rookie of the Year. But losing Jackson, he was that kind of 2 to Ja Morant, and then it's kind of not looking too good. And Portland is hot right now, and they're right behind them.
4-2. Portland's been 4-2.
Yeah, so I think Portland is probably going to take that 8th seed before it's all said and done.
Okay, because Dame Dollar has just been electrifying
on another level.
CJ McCollum is playing good. Carmelo is seeing the resurgence. So,
and I like Dame because Dame has been getting into beef. Because the NBA is great. I'm glad all the players get along and stuff. But Dame is bringing that old vibe back to basketball. Is he beefing with people? Yeah, that's true. He bringing the competition, and it's exciting. Him and Russell Westbrook, him and Paul George, Patrick Beverly, they getting into it.
Oh yeah, with the Clippers. Yeah, you're right.
I like it though because it brings that. He's bringing that playoff atmosphere already. It can't be all smiles and we all friends. Y'all can be friends off the court. I like Dame. And he plays like it. He backs it up on the court.
Does he?
And Portland's a team that's really exciting. Now if they get in the playoffs, they're gonna have to play the Lakers. But that's a team I don't want to play them in the first round.
I wouldn't want to play Portland.
You got Dame, superstar, McCollum, star. And then they finally found their third option with Carmelo.
Yeah.
Been balling.
Melo's found a resurgence.
Nurkic is back healthy.
Nurkic is really good, man.
Yeah.
And they've been missing him. Yeah. Every time when they kind of need him, he gets hurt or he's not there. He's there now.
And he's a legitimate big man. And like I said, I wouldn't want to play them in the first round. I know the Lakers are probably rooting for Memphis.
Now the other two teams in the West we haven't talked about: Oklahoma City Thunder, they're 3-3. Utah Jazz, they're 2-4. And those teams are kind of, I don't know what they are. Like, I think on any given day they could beat anybody, but I think on any given day they could lose to somebody.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Well, let's start with the Jazz, right? So in the bubble, Donovan Mitchell was shooting 38%, Mike Conley shooting 43%, Jordan Clarkson shooting 36%. The defensive player, two-time defensive player of the year, Rudy Gobert is their leading scorer.
The Stifle Tower, yeah.
The defensive player of the year is their leading scorer. They I don't know, something's off. I don't know what it is. Yeah. But they just haven't been shooting a good clip. They haven't been putting the ball in the basket. And if your best defensive player, if your defensive player of the year is your leading scorer, when you got Clarkson, when you got Mitchell, Mike Conley, all these other guys, it hasn't been going well. They're 2-4 in the bubble.
2-5 actually.
2-5.
Yeah, they only have one more game left too.
Yeah, so it's not looking good. Maybe they can turn around the playoffs because there's nothing, there's nothing wrong. I don't know what it is, but it's just like they haven't been clicking in the bubble.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch them play, for some reason in the second half, I don't know, they just unwind and they don't close you out. They don't know how to get to that. They don't have that second, third gear.
Yeah,
They got some exciting players. The talent is there, but they just don't have another gear. So I don't know how big of a threat they are. They're a fun team to watch. Their games are usually very exciting because they can stay close. They can make plays down the stretch, but they just don't have that other gear to get them over the hump. And I think it's the same way with Oklahoma City Thunder. Just kind of cruising into them. Chris Paul has showed he's a great leader.
Yeah.
Because nobody expected anything from them. They're 43-27, 3-3 in the bubble, and Chris Paul has been a great leader with that team. And they can hoop, but again, I don't know if they have that second or third gear to make a run at the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
But they have had a very impressive season, and I think the people of Oklahoma City have to be happy that they've really overachieved this year, in my opinion.
Yeah. Nobody was talking about him when they left the Rockets. Chris Paul was on a mission to show he still got it. And what he's doing, I think it was a smart move for OKC because they got Schrodinger, you got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, so they're learning a lot from Chris Paul. They're going to be two really good young guards. You still got Steven Adams and other great players. So, but like you said, I don't know if they got enough to beat one of these top teams in the West in 7.
Yeah.
And especially when you look at CP3's track record in the playoffs, he started his career with New Orleans. He was by himself for most of that time, but then he went to the Clippers, and they were always regular season. Clippers looking good, postseason couldn't do it.
Fizzled.
So I don't if a veteran Chris Paul is your best player still, I don't see them beating one of these top teams in the West. But they're not gonna go down without a fight. And Schrodinger's just coming back. He had a baby, I believe. So he's just coming back to join the team. So they're gonna make some noise, but like I said, I don't know if they got enough that if they got that other gear to get over the hump.
Yeah, I agree. And talking about the bottom in the West, because we want to mention every team. The Sacramento Kings, they've been just like the Washington Wizards. They just haven't done anything. They're 1-5, so they haven't really showed a lot. They had one win, and that was over the Pelicans.
They got Fox, and then I didn't understand getting Luke Walton as a coach. When he came off, I believe the worst coaching record ever over 3 years or something.
With the Lakers, yeah.
With the Lakers, and then you signed him to a huge contract.
Yeah, and then here's the thing. They maneuvered and fought for him and made it like a big thing, like they scored like a coup, man, we got Luke Walton, we got to get him before anybody else. And I was like, nobody else is, I don't think anybody else is fighting for him. But I didn't understand that either. Yeah. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah, and then especially when you see when you got a young team, because they got young talented players, Cauley Stein, you got De'Aaron Fox, so you got some talent there.
Fox, yeah.
So it's like I don't get that, because when Luke Walton left and when the Lakers started trading people, you see Brandon Ingram start playing better, Josh Hart start playing better. So I didn't really get that move. I think they got talent, but they got to do some. Yeah, figure it out.
Vlade Divac runs that organization. Yeah. And I think that was a Laker thing. I think he kind of went personal before business. It should be business, not personal. But I think he went personal instead of business. And I think he wanted to get a Laker. And, obviously, he probably has some sort of relationship with Walton. Yeah. And it was just weird, and it didn't work out. They only won 29 games so far during the regular season, and their prospects don't look too bright right now.
Yeah.
So, man, the bubble, that's it, man. We covered all the teams, man. And, some teams are rocking and rolling. Some teams are in the middle. Some teams haven't done that well, but it's been exciting basketball. April, so what you think about the bubble? Who you think has been the most impressive team and been a lot of fun for you to watch?
I would say it would have to definitely be the Phoenix Suns, because I wasn't even thinking about them. Like being a team to like watch and like, okay, who's going to do it big? I knew they were going, but I was just like, okay, it's the Suns. They're just going to be the Suns, right? But Devin Booker has showed out. He showed out today, 35 points. So that's probably been the most exciting for me.
Yeah, I shout out to the Phoenix Suns, man. 6-0 in the bubble. Devin Booker putting in work. You got to love it. They've been very exciting. And it's been really good, man. I'm glad the NBA is back. Mike Burr, it's been good. It's been fun. And basketball is rocking and rolling right now.
Yes.
Yeah, the NBA, they got to be the best franchise in the world right now. I mean, during this COVID situation, it was a genius idea to set up the bubble, to keep everybody safe. And then it was smart to partner with Disney World too.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to be quarantined somewhere, you might as well be in Disney World.
Right.
So I think that was a smart idea. And, they prioritized the safety, but they also made sure they can keep the competition and keep the spirit of the league. So shout out to the NBA and all the staff and all that set this up, because it's been great. It's been great. This is some of the best basketball. I think they should just keep the bubble. Just
yeah. Just keep them in the bubble the whole time. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, hey, I wouldn't mind, because they've been playing good ball. So, hey, April, super producer, you got anything else for us?
NBA, Ben Simmons, unfortunately, needs surgery. So he is out for the rest of this season. And then Draymond Green. The NBA fined him $50,000 for his comments about Devin Booker and him suggesting that he should leave the Phoenix Suns because it's not good for him, not good for his career. Draymond Green said this when he was a guest analyst on an NBA on TNT broadcast this past Friday. So,
and go to the Warriors?
Well, he didn't say necessarily go for the Warriors. He was just saying, like, he said the city's not good for him. It's not good for his career since Devin Booker's having great success. So Draymond Green is suggesting, hey, Devin, leave while you're doing so well. And the NBA slapped him a $50,000 tampering fine.
Yeah,
Warriors
trying to do what he did to KD. Yeah. I don't want to see that. I like the level of competition. If you have Steph, Clay, Devin Booker, that's the same. It's gonna be really like,
nobody would beat them. Yeah, Draymond putting in the bid to build another super team. Yeah, Mike Burr, what you got, man?
Yeah, like I said, I'm excited. The bubble has been lit. All the games have been good. A lot of teams, and like I said, I think the championship is wide open.
I do too, bro.
Obviously, you got the Bucks, you got the Lakers, you got the Clippers at the top. They got the three best players, so superstars matter. But I think it's a lot of teams where if it's an injury, if somebody gets suspended, if somebody fouls out, if any craziness,
somebody want to go get some wings.
if anything, it's a lot of teams that are just one swing away. And you look up, and it's like, oh, they just upset, and they're in the finals. So I think the championship is wide open. It's a lot of teams that think they can win a championship.
I agree, man. I agree. Well, it's been a great podcast. We're glad you're tuning in. We're glad that you're hitting us with the comments. Like us, subscribe, check us out on all the social media. Please share us. Tell a friend. Tell your neighbor. Tell somebody else that loves sports. And don't think we forgot about the other sports. We're going to hit Major League Baseball. We're going to hit the NFL. We're going to hit tennis and golf. And we're going to hit esports. That's what we do. It's the Burrage Sports Show. But right now, the NBA is rocking and rolling. We're having a good time with it. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. We're going to have a big playoff preview for the NBA coming up. And just keep tuning in, because we got more for you. And you know how we do it. Mike Burr, drop the beat.